Hey everybody, it's the Nature Dude, and it is late October where I live, and you can see I have rented a big beast here. This is a 50-footer boom and lift because I'm working on my 2-story cedar sided house here, and I've been tightening up all the different siding runs on there and caulking holes and other things, and in staining. And you can see where the difference between where I've stained and in the center here where I haven't. I'm going to finish that up today, but the reason I'm doing this Nature Dude is because let's look at something here that seems to be a real common problem. And if you look up here, you might see some holes in this bottom board here in the fascia. Let's go up and take a look at those. Got to get around the hydrangea here. Sorry about the quality. There we go. Yeah, look at the holes in here. Now this is cedar. This is a solid cedar board. And you probably have seen something similar to this if you have a wood home, or you have a log home, or you have wood trim or fascia. And the culprit is actually found right under here. And if you notice this hole right up here, it's actually right here. It's hard to see in the, there we go. It's about a 1/2-inch hole, almost perfect in circumference. It's Carpenter Bees. And a lot of people confuse these with bumblebees, but they're really quite different. I'm going to show you some photos here on my iPad. And you notice the bee on the left is a carpenter bee, and it has a shiny abdomen, and whereas the bumblebee on the right is furry or fuzzy all over his entire body. Very distinctive difference. Also more yellow. And then the male on the carpenter bees, if you've ever had them stare you in the face as you're out by your wood structure, they'll fly and hover right in front of you. The males often have like a white patch or yellow patch right on their forehead, and of course the bumblebees do not have that. Bumblebees also have the pollen sacs on their legs as they gather pollen, and the carpenter bees don't do that. Although carpenter bees are pollinators, just not on the order of the bumblebees. Carpenter bees also are very solitary, and they really don't colonize like the bumblebees do. Bumblebees you find underground in nests, and but the carpenter bees, they like to burrow into wood. And how that's done is it's the female that does the work, and she has what are called mandibles on her jaw that are like sharp little appendages, and she'll start working on that, and she vibrates her body, and by vibrating her body she's actually vibrating the mandibles so that they are cutting through the wood. And she can eat about 1/2 inch of wood a day, and then as she goes up in, she'll go up in maybe an inch or so, and then she'll make a turn. She'll make a 90-degree turn, and she'll either go right or left, and then she'll start to bore along that plane. Now the reason it takes her longer to go up is because she's going against the grain, but once she gets with the grain, she can go at a much faster rate. And these can go anywhere from 8 inches up to 6 feet if it's a burrow that's been used year after year. So and what she'll do is she'll lay a series of eggs in little side chambers, and then she will make up a little mixture of pollen and bee spit, and then she'll deposit a wad of that in the side hole where the egg is, and then she'll seal it up with wood chips. And then once she gets that all done, she dies. And this is always done in the spring, April or May. And once she dies, then the eggs will hatch, and you'll have larvae inside there, and the larvae are very noisy. So this draws woodpeckers, which is why I have holes all through my siding here, because the woodpeckers hear the larvae in there and they start drilling away and picking out their lunch. So let me show you back down to here now to a photo of what these cavities might look like. Now again, I apologize for the quality. I do my nature dudes kind of on the spot. They're not professionally produced. I don't make any money off them. I do it just for information. So anyhow, there's some channels right here, and you'll actually even see some little side channels in this particular one here. This is a piece of wood that was sawn in half to show what this looks like. So anyhow, that's the nature dude for today. Controlling them is difficult. You know, you might plug up the holes with a 1/2-inch dowel rod and put a little caulk in there or something, but they do like to use the same channels and tunnels over and over again, year after year, if they can, because it's the young larvae that turn into adults, and then they overwinter in the wood, and then they come out in the spring and start all over again. Okay, so that's all I have for you today on the Nature Dude. As I'm working on my house trying to beat winter, and I hope you have a great day on the trails.